What if telling stories was the only way to keep yourself alive? Could you survive 1,000 nights? This is the tale of a brave young woman, a gifted storyteller, and a king whose heart had turned to stone. Shahryar, betrayed and broken, made a cruel vow to marry a new bride each night and execute her by dawn. Now Scheherazade steps forward, but not to escape, to save. This is episode 2 of 1001 Nights, the story that delays death one night at a time. When the Grand Vizier, Scheherazade's father, brought the news that the king had agreed to marry her, Scheherazade smiled, a smile filled with both hope and fear. It was as if the world had been handed to her. But what is a world worth if you may not see the morning? She thanked her father and apologized because she knew this choice would break his heart. But she said, "You won't regret this. Joy will return to this city once more." Then she called for Scheherazade, her younger sister. She said, "Sister, tonight you must come with me to the palace, not just to see me, but to help save my life and the lives of thousands more. You must stay with me in the royal chamber, and just before dawn, you must wake me and say, 'Sister, if you are awake, tell me one of your beautiful stories, just for tonight.' And then I will begin the tale, a story that might just keep King Shahryar listening long enough to forget to kill me." Night fell. The Grand Vizier walked Scheherazade to King Shahryar's palace. In heavy silence, the father placed his daughter's hand into the king's. Shahryar said, "Remove your veil." And when he saw her face, her beauty made him pause, if only for a moment. Scheherazade's eyes were filled with tears. Shahryar asked, "Why do you cry on the night of your wedding?" She replied, "I have a little sister who loves me dearly, and I love her just as deeply. If this is to be my last night alive, I wish to spend it beside her, to say goodbye." Shahryar looked at her, and for a brief moment his heart softened. He ordered that Scheherazade be brought to the palace. And so the night began. The first night, the beginning of the tale of the merchant and the demon. As everyone slept in the royal chamber, just an hour before dawn, Scheherazade whispered, "Sister, if you're awake, tell me one of your beautiful stories." Scheherazade glanced at Shahryar and asked, "May I tell a story to my sister?" And the king replied, "With pleasure." And so, the first night of the 1001 Nights began. Once a wealthy merchant was returning from a long journey, but he lost his way and wandered into a haunting desert. Exhausted and weary, he sat beneath a great walnut tree beside a quiet spring. As he ate some dates, he tossed the pits and walnut shells away. Suddenly, a towering demon with flowing white hair appeared before him, wielding a massive. He roared, "You killed my son! Now it's your turn to die!" The merchant, trembling, cried out, "I've never seen your son! I don't even know him!" But the demon shouted, "One of your date pits struck my son's eye! He went blind and died! You must pay with your life!" The demon grabbed the merchant, threw him to the ground, and raised his weapon, deaf to the man's desperate pleas for mercy. The story had reached its most thrilling moment. But then, dawn broke across the sky. Scheherazade suddenly fell silent. Scheherazade exclaimed, "Heavens, what a fascinating and gripping tale!" Scheherazade replied gently, "The rest of the story is even more delightful than what you've heard. And if the king allows, and I live through today, I shall continue it tomorrow night. King Shahryar, who had listened to every word, said, I want to hear the rest of the tale tomorrow night. You shall live. For now, I will delay your execution, because I must know what happens next. And once the story is finished, I can still have you killed whenever I wish. With that, the king rose from the bed and left. And so on that first night, Scheherazade survived. Her story had pushed death one night further away. The second night of 1001 Nights. An hour before dawn. Just like the night before, Dinarzade awoke and whispered, Sister, if you're still awake, could you please finish last night's story? There's little time before morning. But this time, before Scheherazade could even ask for permission, King Shahryar himself said, Continue the tale of the merchant and the jinn. I must know how it ends. And so, Scheherazade began once more. The merchant pleaded with the jinn, Let me return home to say goodbye to my wife and children. I swear I'll come back. The jinn replied, You have 1 year, but if you break your word, you will die. The merchant returned home. His family rejoiced, but he was drowning in sorrow. His wife asked, My kind husband, we've waited for your return with such joy, but now you seem distant, troubled. What has happened to you? And so, he told them everything, from his fateful mistake in the desert to the terrifying vow he made to the jinn. A year passed. He gave away his wealth, prepared his family, and set off for the place where death awaited him. As he arrived at the walnut tree in that haunted desert, an old man appeared, leading a female dog on a leash. Why have you come to this cursed land? The old man asked. This place may look lush, but it's home to dark spirits. No one stays here by choice. The merchant told him the entire story about the jinn, the deadly mistake, and his vow. The old man was stunned. You came back? By the heavens, I've never witnessed such loyalty. I must see what happens when the jinn returns. I'll stay with you. He sat beside the merchant, and they waited. At that moment, Scheherazade paused. Dawn is near, and the best part of the story is still to come. King Shahryar, completely captivated, said, You will live another day. I want to hear how it ends. And so, once again, Scheherazade survived. And the story has only just begun. Because in the next episode, the old man shares a tale so unbelievable, it becomes a story within a story. So if you're like King Shahryar, curious to know how it all ends, then hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and let us know what you think of this ancient tale passed down through the ages. And get ready for Night 3 of 1001 Nights.